that got me the extra level that I needed. I also got Provoke, which is an interesting ability. Basically, it's if I really need, and there is an enemy. Really, none of these are actual like training dummies. That's lame. If there is an enemy near me, and I target them and I use Provoke, I basically just yank their attention away from whatever thing it's currently looking at. So what happens is if there's two tanks and the first tank took so much damage that they need to fall back and they need me to be replacing them as their main tank, I use Provoke to yank them, and I switch back on my Iron Will to gain more enmity from that. So it's just straight up a tactic to basically just swap around stuff. Congratulations on the job well done, Blue. Bruce says that you acquitted yourself well. You have shown tremendous growth since you joined us. Though it pays me to do this, you have earned the right. Blue, I grant you the leave to join other guilds. As you doubtless know, Ul'dah is home to both the Pugilist Guild and the Thaumaturgist Guild. However, there are also guilds that you may learn something of more peaceful traditions. You may even join the guilds of other nations if that is what you desire. Know that I will respect your decisions, whatever they may be. So as long as you don't forget that you are, above all, a gladiator. You have now access to the armory system. Quests, like the other classes, can be undertaken by speaking to the receptionist of the corresponding guild. Yep. Oh, what was that? That one. Before you head off, I wanted to ask you, Bruce believes that the freelancers were out for a bounty. What's your opinion on this, Blue? Their motives died with them. I see. Mayhap it is best that we put this sword affair behind us. Still, I cannot help but wonder. Item comparison. Oh wait, I said that I wanted to grab the bracers because they're higher level than what I'm currently getting, you know, like difference based. So now we can do gear sets. And gear sets are actually going to be really useful for us when we start doing stuff. So gear sets plus that's good for now. And what we can do is something so simple, it blew people's minds when they saw it for the first time. Could just grab it right from there and put it right there. So basically what this does is when we switch classes, we could just click that to automatically equip Gladiator again. And, you know, that's pretty great. So I kind of realized something. Do I want to do the level 15 quest right now? And the answer to that is no, I actually do not. We're gonna get back to this in a bit, but what I actually wanted to do is I wanted to do other guilds, because as she says, let me back up a little bit. You may learn something of more peaceful guilds as well. And there's actually a few that we want to go over. I don't think I brought this up yet, so I'm gonna just lay it out what we're gonna be doing. So these are the disciples of Hand and Land. Just like War and Magic. Not sure why they separated like that. It was a lot more simple when ranged magical was down there and just shoved that up there. Oh well. Hand is about creating stuff, and Land is about procuring the stuff that you use to craft the stuff. And each of the 3 starting cities has one of the 3 disciples of Land. And each of the 3 starting cities have at least 2 of these. I think the ones that double up on them are armor and blacksmith are in the same area, so they basically count as 1. And then you have, what is it? It's carpenter and leatherworker in Gridania. You have blacksmith and armor as 1 place, and then you have culinarian as well. So that's that covered. And in here we have goldsmith, weaver, and alchemist. There we go. So basically how this works is carpenter is for wood-based objects, blacksmith and armor is for metal-based objects, but one deals with offense, one deals with defense. Sharp, blunt. No, not sharp and blunt. It's things that need to be sanded down into a point, and then things that need to be flattened into plates effectively. Goldsmith is for the stuff over here, for jewelry, but it also deals with a few more magical trinkets that we can use for the Disciples of Magic classes. You then have Alchemist, which makes potions, and Culinarian, which makes food. A lot of the times the Alchemist and Culinarian are just there to basically be a middle step. So basically what you would do is you would go out as, let's just say, a botanist. So it's miner, botanist, fisher. It's stone, plants, fish. You know, it's like, so you're like dredging up like fish. So it's like, you go out, you're a botanist, you collect flax, then you go to alchemist, you then craft it into flaxseed oil, and you use the flaxseed oil as an armorer to like lubricate a piece of metal, and that way you get like a chest piece. Basically, that's the type of stuff we're dealing with. And the 3 classes I want to kind of target with when it comes to Disciples of the Hand are the 3 that make armor. So, armorer, leatherworker, and weaver. And in Ul'dah, we have the Weaver Guild. And we're going to do the Weaver Guild, but first I want to do the Miners Guild. I want a Weaver first. I'm going to do that first. Okay, so welcome to the Weavers Guild. They're going to go over a bit of backstory with the Weavers Guild, first and foremost, but we do need to kind of hear all this because it is a little bit of world building. Greetings, adventurer, and welcome to the wellspring of Ul'dah fashion. From humble thread, our peerless artisans weave wonders, dreams in fabric form. We are renowned as Eorzea's finest purveyors of quality textiles and as her foremost arbiters of style. Needless to say, such renown was not won without effort. Ours is a tremendously demanding profession, you see, but also a highly rewarding one. It is little wonder that there are so many adventurers that have set their hearts upon joining us. Might you be one of them? Ah, I thought as much. Then I'm sure you're eager to learn all about our illustrious history. As I'm sure you know, Thanalan can be a perilous place, its vast deserts being wont to punish the unprepared, while a menagerie of ferocious beasts stalk the sands. The greatest foe is, of course, the midday sun. And so, ever since man first set foot in this region, he has favored light, flowing fabrics that shield him from the sun's rays, while allowing his skin to breathe. Of course, Uldans have ever been a people of taste, and demand for more extravagant design spurned innovation, resulting in textile goods whose appeal extended far beyond our borders. Merchants had little trouble selling Ul'dah fabrics in foreign markets, So great was their reputation for beauty and quality. And when traders from those same markets sought to peddle their lesser products in Thanalan, well, it gave us cause for concern. Sunsilk tapestries is synonymous with textile trade in Ul'dah, you see. Those who have come here hoping to peddle cheap rags swiftly learned the price of doing business in our territory. Wiser men and women have, with an interest in our trade, chose instead to join the guild, which the company generously operates for the betterment of Ul'dah society. We offer our members the tools and techniques needed to become successful, and should they prove themselves especially skilled, they may even be offered direct employment as Sunsilk weavers. Just imagine, adventurer, your designs could one day dictate the course of Ul'dah fashion. If you desire such fame and influence, then you might be granted a place with us, provided that you are willing to embrace hard work. To ensure candidates can endure the rigors of our profession, our guildmaster has taken upon himself to evaluate each and everyone personally. When you are ready to submit yourself to his rigorous scrutiny, say the word. Excellent. Though I do wonder if your attire is appropriate for the occasion. You will find the esteemed Redolent Rose supervising guild operations over yonder. He is, how should I put this? He is relentless in his pursuit of excellence. So long as you demonstrate that you are similarly committed, he will treat you fairly and with respect. Okay. What do we have here? Another adventurer in search of thrills and excitement? Shall I dance you a merry jig? No? Well, if this fails to please you, I suggest you run along. Perhaps the women of the Ruby Road Exchange shall be more of your liking. Oh, you mean to become a weaver? Then we have something to discuss after all. I shall be blunt. Weaving is an art, and like all true artists, we must make sacrifices and suffer for our craft. So tell me, adventurer, are you prepared to suffer? One of the greatest boxes to ever show up in this game. So you say, but only time will tell. In any case, you'll need equipment to get started. This needle should suffice for now. I need not explain what a needle is, I trust? Good. Then hold it as you would when sewing and show me that you are ready to begin. Okay. Changing classes is as simple as just taking this weapon, switching it with the class you need, and you are now that class. Unfortunately, it leaves you naked if you're wearing stuff that is not for your class. So let's just put that stuff on temporarily. No, I'm not going to set that to that. I want to make a new one. Set Weaver there for now, I guess. But yeah, so we now have Gladiator and Weaver. So what I'm gonna do is something that is highly ill-advised, and that is, tell you what I'm about to show it here, you must not replicate. Because what I'm about to do is I'm about to horrendously mangle my hotbar to show everything at once. Yes, I know, it looks really weird. The best way to kind of explain what I just did was I basically made 3 arcs. So down one path, I basically have all the stuff that is about increasing the quality of an item. Then the other path, which I would do second, is doing the stuff that requires you to move things to progress it down. Yes. To add like progress to it. And then the third one is the utility stuff that's right there. Then I have some stuff right there. Have some stuff that can only be that I would mostly only activate at the very beginning step. Or it can only be done on the first step. Yeah, available only on the first step. And it's really simple. It's really simple to me, but it's also really hard to explain why I put all this stuff here. Without me kind of doing step by step of like how I eventually got here, and that would take too long as well. Redolent Rose would like to assign you to your first task as a weaver. Well, well, you look like you were born to hold one of those. Even so, I suggest you keep it somewhere safe, especially when clambering over haystacks. I shan't be issuing you another. Now, you certainly look the part, but it remains to be seen if you can play it. I bid you craft me a spindle of hempen yarn. A trifling task? Yes. Well, I do hope you find it so. Should it seem even remotely testing, you have no future in the guild. To make hempen yarn, I would require moko grass and lightning shards. The former can be purchased from our own dear Jijima. The latter you'll have to find yourself. That is all. To synthesize a spindle of hempen yarn for Redolent Rose, select the logs from the main menu followed by a crafting log. That is what we put over here. So right over here I put timers. This is so we can see several things like how long it will take for us to enter our next leave, but it will also be for certain crafting stuff for later. We will get to that eventually. We have the crafting log, the gathering log, both of which are exactly what you think it is. Shows a list of things for you to do, and then you get a little check mark next to it when you've actually completed that step. When you've completed that for the first time. Then we have stuff for fishing right there, and that's about it. If we were to do every single one of these right now with a meal benefit, let's add a little bit to that. We would probably be around level 13 to 15. And it's actually really funny because we might actually run out of lightning shards before that even happens. But yeah, basically, the guild supplier is going to be your best friend for completing the first 2 layers of our crafting log. So basically, as he said, you only need to get 2 moko grass right now. Go to crafting log, hempen yarn. Low quality, high quality items. They just put high quality there because it'd be too hard to remove it, but we used to be able to get high quality ingredients from the area around us, but they kind of removed that and instead put in a thing where you could just get more of the item. We're gonna go over that when we get into gathering, which also has a really messed up a bar situation going on. But yeah, so the way you do crafting is very simple. You have progress and quality. Usually what would happen is that you would want to focus on getting the quality up all the way, then focus on the progress. So yeah, just doing one thing lowers your durability by 10. That is usual. There are some things that will take up 2 stacks of durability instead of just 1. Some of them will only take half of the cost, but you know, after everything is said and done, the main thing that you need to worry about is making sure this progress bar is full by the time the durability is run out. Look at that, we're already level 3 because we had we had our bonus out. Oh, you've already made it? Well, bless my soul, she really can't follow basic instructions. It would seem you have grasped the fundamentals. Good girl. Yarn and cloth may be mere materials, but they can be crafted with no less care than a whole garment. For though the finest garments are greater than the sum of their parts are inevitably the finest. Do remember this, Blue, as you continue your training. Practice making yarn and other simple items, and return once you have obtained a basic level of proficiency. Tedious, I grant you, but necessary. And you did tell me you were ready to suffer. Okay. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to equip our little thing we just got here. And we are going to continue doing this log. We got 40 Moko grass to do. And I don't think we actually need Moko grass for anything coming up directly soon. Recipes using this material. Hempen work gloves. We actually do need it for that. But those are on the second layer right there. So we don't really need it for right now. So we could just melt all of it down in the hempen yarn and then use it to make everything here. First order of business is actually to make more crafting gear. Because as you can see by these half gloves, it actually gives us +7 control. We can actually go boop, and actually see the difference. So if we were to make it high quality, it would go up 1 point of control, which isn't much, but it is something. And it actually increases our regular defense and magic defense, but that's never going to be a problem because we're never going to be walking outside of here in this gear. If we actually want like actual stuff for like going out and stuff, we're going to need something that's a little bit more hefty, you know? But our goal right now is to basically make everything on this list. And that includes stuff for both crafting and gathering. And it's mostly why I did this one first, is so that we can have this gathering set when we actually go over there to do the gathering stuff. So I'm going to be right back, and I'm going to finish this up, and then I'm going to see how far I get. Okay, now that I've actually completed all of the recipes, I am now level 14. As I said, like, you get kind of high up when you're using like any sort of EXP bonus. Like, I have enough that if I just complete the next like 2 missions, I should get to like level 15. Already have one, do not have those. Those would be helpful since I do not have any real shoes to go with this crafting outfit. I also made a what was it? Right, it's Control I. I also made a gathering outfit as well, and I'm also keeping this just in case. This casting. There we go. Something more for like casters, just in case I need it. But yeah, like I basically made everything. Back so soon? Very well, let's resume your training. Since we last spoke, you will doubtless have spent your time making the basic products of our trade, namely yarn and cloth. Now, I would have you take such basic products and craft whole garments from them. Make 3 pairs of hempen breeches and present them for my inspection. You'll be working with hempen cloth and yarn this time, as well as a bit of leather. Jijima can furnish you with the materials to help you get that started. But eager as I am to see the fruits of your labor, it'd be remiss of me not to mention that there are more economical methods of procuring such of what you need. For example, Moko grass, from which you've been dutifully making yarn, can be freely gathered out in the wilds. That said, one can't simply rip it from the ground with one's hand. A scythe is needed, as well as a working knowledge of botany. have you perchance made the acquaintance of a botanist or two? If not, I would heartily recommend you do so. They are attractively earthy without seeming dirty, and useful besides. Having said all that, I will not accept a newfound passion for botany and its practitioners as an excuse for late delivery of the breeches, so don't keep me waiting. Okay, this is why I actually, on the side here, have a set of notes that I can take. I actually mostly, basically for any game I play, I have like a thing of notes to the side so I can figure out what I want. So, they want hempen breeches, which are these. I should have actually kept the one I had. So if I need to make 3, I don't just need, like, 2 cloth, 1 yarn, 1 thing of leather. I actually need 3 leather. Let me just type all this in. You need 5 hempen yarn to make this, because you're taking 4 of it and turning it into... and you're turning it into 2 cloth. So in total you need about 15 yarn, which basically correlates to 30 mocha grass. And if I... just doing some like quick math in my head, we're actually going to be ending up making 16 yarn, effectively, since... yeah, you make 2 of each of these. Oh, so I guess you only need like 16 mocha grass. So yeah, we could just quickly grab these right here. I'm just gonna do this again, just in case I didn't actually show this off. I'm not sure how much I actually showed, but now that we're actually like level 14, we can actually do this pretty well. So, first things first, one of the things that we unlocked is quick synthesis. If we do not care about the actual, like, making something high quality, we could just send it there. And yeah, we're gonna make 8 clusters of 2, so that's 16 in total. And it'll just do it for us. Every once in a while you'll get a high quality one, which is this symbol right here. But we don't actually need to worry about that, like, at all. Oh, those are starting to lower in condition. We should probably do something about that. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're gonna get any high quality from that. That's okay. But then we need to make cloth. So we need to make 2 for each, so that's 6 in total. So I might as well show off what we're doing here. I put all of our efficient calculations right here, which, you know, very, you can basically press this button to pop them up. You can favorite the ones you like, all that type of stuff. I mainly do this so I can see with my head, like, how much is actually, how much is going to, like, be used. So, as you can see, if we do progress right now, we're gonna fill this up. Like, just from us doing once. So we can focus on quality. So we do basic touch, and we keep doing that until we max out our quality. If we're running low on stuff, let's just say we do like an extra thing of that, and it fails. These 2 have a chance to fail, so I rarely ever do them, but this one requires no crafting points to use, and this one is 250% of our normal amount of proficiency. If I just go over here to show this, instead of doing just 10, we do 25, but we have only a 50% chance of it working. I believe that there is actually something to make that like 100%, but it's like something we have to actually like use, or like something we have to set up to do that, and I don't know what it is. But we've also unlocked Master's Mend, which will restore 30 durability to an item. we've also unlocked Tricks of the Trade. So if our condition for whatever reason becomes higher than normal to good or excellent, we could use this, and then later on we could use Precise Touch to do 2 stacks of Inner Quiet, which is what is increasing our efficiency with this. Because each stack like gives us an additional like 10%. I believe it's 10. It might actually be 5. I'm not sure. What is it? Grants 10% bonus per stack. Yeah. So if we actually get to 10 stacks, we're effectively doubling our potential. But if you're doing something that requires you to get to 10 stacks and you're not done with it yet, I think you've got more problems than just that. And then when everything is said and done, you basically do synthesis. It's actually a really simple methodology. I've basically boiled it down to... Oh, there you go. You could also see the lines of which ones you could use at whatever time. There we go. Yeah, those are actually getting kind of low. I should do something about that, but... Yeah, as you can see, those are lit up because you could do those, but... I don't need to worry about it too much because literally I could complete it in 3. And I don't have this to worry about. I don't need to worry about this because I already have stuff for Master's Mend. And I'm not, like, emptied out on, like, crafting points. It's, you know, it's relatively simple, all things considered. Yeah, that's gonna be enough. I had to double check with some mental math. Yeah, see, condition is now good. Increase the quality are 1.5 times higher than normal. I believe excellent is 2.5. So, Tricks of the Trade is really useful if you want to get your crafting points back up to back up in case you need to get that little bit extra boost through. But usually when I get Precise Touch, I'll just be using that every single time. Like, Precise Touch is like 150%, and then... Yeah, so it's like, it's 150%, and then it gets the 2.5 bonus if it's... excellent quality. You could basically complete most things because, like, I'm, like, on my main character, I'm sitting around, let's just say, about, level 60. And I need roughly around, like, 2,500 quality to finish an item, you know? I need like 2,500 quality, and I need like 140 for progress. I just quickly like to do enough, and then that activates on excellent, and just doing that, it's like I get like 1,600 towards quality. So I just go like that. I get 2 stacks of it, so whatever thing I'm doing is getting an additional 20%. So basically, it's... crafting, as it goes on, doesn't get harder or more tedious. It actually becomes easier to do things, which I find is actually kind of interesting, considering that's the exact opposite of what I thought was going to happen. I actually thought it was going to be... the higher up it is, the more stressful it is to, like, do some, like, strategies, or, it's less likely that you'll be finishing it. And that does happen every once in a while, like right here, I need 21 to do it, which means that I'll need to do 3 of these. I'll just do that to recover some do Master's Mend to get 30 back. I don't really need to do any of this because I could have just completed that right there. But like, that's the type of thing that I'm dealing with when I do these crafts. And as you can see, we started out with a little bit of quality because us having high quality ingredients going into it means that we are, yeah, because we have high quality stuff going into something, we actually come out easier. So as you can see right here, we're getting an additional like 43. Our max for that would have been 70, no, not is it 65? It would have been like 65 if we actually had like a high quality yarn, I believe, and high quality leather. If we had all of that, because you can craft all three of these things, if everything that can be high quality is, you get that maximum 50%. And honestly, like, I think that that's really cool. It's why I didn't really care too much about making sure the yarn was high quality, but I was making sure that the cloth was high quality, because that's the one that's gonna be a lot more like weighty, effectively. What's new there? What exactly did we unlock? The ability to do trial synthesis. Okay, so basically we can test out to see if we could even do it before we go in. Okay, that's kind of neat. We also just unlocked Waste Knot, which reduces durability loss for the next 4 steps, which is pretty useful, and Veneration, which increases our synthesis action by 50%. So I might as well just like show this off then, to kind of like show how that works. Like, I'm gonna make one more thing of pants just so I could show this off. So let's quick synthesize. Again, I don't really need to do anything fancy with the cloth. I basically, now they've hit level 15, I basically don't even need to think about it. Just like how, like, I forget what I was doing the other day, but it was like, I had it to, that was it. I was doing some stuff and I had to craft, honey using, beehive chips. And I basically sat there, I did basic touch. I only needed roughly around like 50, I think 50 quality to actually finish it. And I did like, and I did somewhere in the ballpark of like 300. And then immediately just did basic synthesis. So I don't need to deal with anything over here, because just 2 clicks finishes it at that point. Let's make another thing of breeches so I can kind of show this off. Okay, synthesize. So what happens is I would do Waste Knot. I get a little bonus that says that my durability loss is reduced by half. So I want to do basic touch. And instead of going down to 50, I go down to 55. So I do like a half pip right there. I do that. And if I need to do a little bit more, because again, I'm only doing about like 10 of these, but I really want to reduce the amount I'm doing, Veneration will bring it up to 15, so I can actually complete it in 2 instead of 3. I'm still doing it by the end of step 6, but I'm taking up less. I'm actually doing more crafting points because that's actually 16. It's the same amount that I would be doing if I was doing basic touch. So technically, I'm not saving anything. I'm just saving how many moves I'm doing. So if there's something like Great Strides right here is the next touch action does 100%, but what I could basically do is Waste Not, Great Strides, Innovation, which will increase the efficiency of the next touch action. So I basically have 3 chances to activate higher quality. If it pops any of those, I do that, and then I go on to the next stage. Like that. So I basically, there have been some times at which I go, Waste Not, Precise Touch. Great Strides, Precise Touch. Innovation, Precise Touch, and I'm already done, and I have 6 stacks before I basically could even do regular touch actions. So I just go, Veneration, click this twice, I've now like maxed that out as well. And I do that before I finish Waste Not 2, which is 8 steps with no durability loss. I also have Prudent Touch, which also reduces it by half, but the downside is, 1, I can't combo it like basic to standard to advanced touch. I can't do this little combo string that's right here with that, and it's more weighty than a regular one of these, but if I really did want to just do this for half of the durability cost, like let's just say I have a lot of CP left, like I have crafting points to burn, but I do not have that much durability. Let's just say I have like 20 left, and I do this. This is already activated, so the next 2 I do will be increased. I could basically do that in the 2 that I needed instead of paying the 98 for another Waste Not or 56 for Waste Not 2. So basically, instead of paying the 56 for this and then hitting this for 2 of these for 18, I could then pay only 50 for Prudent Touch. It's why I've been really trying to get this, and I actually just unlocked this with like several of my crafters on my main character. Like, again, I'm not fully done with the game. I've been taking my time with all this stuff, but I have learned a lot of stuff by doing that. And it's why I'm actually really, really glad that I'm doing this, so I can actually kind of explain this out loud to something in the ether, you know? Take it the breaches already? Yeah. Take all these. I'll be holding on to one. Don't ask why. Do you really want to trade high quality items? Yes. Oftentimes you don't get anything extra for bringing in high quality. I could have literally just like just spammed just complete it with progress, and I wouldn't have gotten anything else from it. But I get extra XP if I do make it high quality, and that's important. Not bad, Blue. Not bad at all. This style of legwear has never been particularly fashionable, nor has the design changed significantly over the years, fluctuating lengths aside, but I digress. I wondered if you might try a variation of the conventional design, but I see you opted for orthodoxy. A wise decision in this case. Hempen clothing is inexpensive and durable, making it popular amongst farmers, miners, and others who work the land. Such customers value comfort and mobility above all else. They may appreciate more elegant forms, but they will not sacrifice function for them. Each garment has a purpose, Blue. A purpose that you should always bear in mind. A scalloped hem is about as useful to a miner as nipples on a gladiator's breastplate. I don't know why, but that's one of my favorite lines from Redolent Rose, because he's like speaking the truth, man. He's just like, listen, form and function does not matter when your life is on the line. I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, I've seen enough. I've seen enough armor designs where it's like the women need incredibly skimpy outfits to basically completely understand where this guy's going. Where it's like, listen, that does not add any form of durability. I do not care how magical it is. Having completed your latest task, I believe you have earned this spinning wheel. Use it in combination with your needle, and your work will benefit from it. Saying that, it will, of course, take you a little while to become accustomed to using the tool together. You need not worry, though. I fully intend to give you ample opportunity to acquire the knack. In fact, I won't be teaching you anything else until you have. By that time, that spinning wheel feels like it belongs in your hand. I dare say I'll have thought of a new task for you. Till then, my girl. Yeah, certain gear grants you extra craftsmanship control and control point values. A higher craftsmanship rating hastens the progress. Greater control increases the chance of creating high quality items, and additional crafting points improve your crafting stamina. Outfitting yourself with an eye to the current objective is to increase your proficiency in your crafting endeavors. Grab those shoes. And there you go. I'm pretty sure I explained all that before, but like... Oh right, we don't have the ability to do that yet. I'll explain what I mean later, at some other point, but there's actually several things that we can't do. One, you may notice over here that some of these lights are white, if you're actually looking closely enough. Basically means, if I hover over one of them, there we go, they're maxed out on Spirit Bond. If we actually had the ability to draw materia from it, we could just grab the Spirit Bond, make it into a physical mass, make it materia. What you could then do with materia is that you could then find an item that has available slots and just basically slot it back into another item to boost it. Right now we actually have several items. There we go. We have several items that have low durability right now, and so we could actually go and just repair all items, but we can't. The reason why we can't is because we don't have dark matter in our bag. We actually do need to grab some dark matter. Hey, can I say you these back? Okay, take 3 from it. That's what I get for kind of showcasing it, whatever. So the best way to get any form of dark matter is to go to a town's market, and you're gonna need to find the person that sells dyes. And it's because the person who sells you dyes will most likely also give you... Alright, there's a festival going on. I haven't interacted with it at all. Yeah, so here we go. This person has the color tapestries above them, so they usually are the ones selling dyes. If we scroll down to the bottom, there we go. Dark matter. We're gonna want... let's just say 20. We're gonna place those down here. Are we going to actually need multiple types? Let's also grab 20 of these just in case. I don't think we're going to need Dark Matter 3 until a lot later, but that did take a chunk out of our money. We're actually going to probably need 30 of this now that I think about it. So, now that we have Dark Matter, we could do something really interesting. So, right down here, I put Repair onto this bar. And you'll see that out of everything, there is a class for what costs for repairs. If we had a little bit of Goldsmith, which we are going to do in a bit, just not right now, we could repair this stuff. That is our accessories. And also, our needle. Our needle requires Goldsmith. If we actually look over here, the boots right here require carpenter. Same thing with our spinning wheel. But our outfit right here that we made with our weaving skills, we can repair with our weaving skills. If you can make it, you can repair it effectively. So it's going to take 4 dark matter. There you go. So there's two benefits from doing it ourselves, because we could just walk over here to this arms mender, give him some gil. It looks like it's going to be 26 in total, and repair it ourselves. And we could sit there going, look, all of the lines are blue now. Doesn't matter. So it's like, yep, that's all like fixed. But if we go over to the pants, you'll see that the condition is 183. And that is actually because if we repair it ourselves, we actually fortify it from actually needing to be repaired more often. And it's actually pretty great, because if we just make like one more item, all of these things that are at 100 will go down to 99. Like this thing right here at like 185 condition, it's not going to be in the, showing it like green, like anytime soon. Like it is astounding. Like it is actually a little bit impressive that is the case. So let's just switch back to Gladiator for a bit. So as you can kind of see, we have a few things that could be repaired. And if we go to repairing, we actually have two things that we can repair. So there we go. Our Hempen Action and our Hempen Kex. I'm not actually, it is like action and kek. Or acton. I forget how that's actually pronounced. I think that that's a French word. I'm not sure though. We can just repair them and get them back up to like 200. Like, I think 199 is the max that you could do for something like that. But as you can see here, we're going to need leather worker for our boots. We're going to need armorer for our helmet. And we're going to need goldsmith for our earring, which is going to be important. You'll also notice that we can't equip that onto our crafters. Our crafters cannot use this, meaning that we actually are going to need to make earrings for all of our crafting and gathering stuff in the future. So yeah, it's like, you start looking at all this stuff and you're like, okay, I kind of see. So there's a reason to kind of omni-class with all of the crafting, and having good gathering means that we don't need to go to we basically use our time and effort to get an item instead of the cost of the items at the store. Because, like, just a quick glance, let's just say, at the market board, okay? Let's just say you want... I know exactly which one it is. I have been scarred by rainbow cloth for so long. Like, rainbow cloth. Look at these prices, okay? High quality, 4 bolts of rainbow cloth for 5,000. Like, 20 at a lower price, technically, for 24,000. And inevitably, like, let me see if I could find one that has... Yeah, look at this. Look at the person who's selling it at market cap because they're insane. Like, with that type of thing, yeah, I would... Oh, hello, Tomberry. What are you doing here? Pet the favorites. Pet the Tonberry. He deserves it. Okay, so when we are dealing with, like, gathering, it means that we can go out and grab all the stuff to make our ingredients a lot more efficiently. Which is where our retainers come in. Like our stuff that's through the summoning bell over here. You know? We could just have our retainers hold all of our, like, high-end stuff, and any, like, low-end stuff that we don't need anymore. Like, we're not going to need hempen we're not going to need hempen items when we're up at like level even like level 20 when we're dealing with cotton anymore. Like we're dealing with like cotton yarn and cotton cloth, and we're dealing like eventually we're going to need to start dealing with like different types of materials from many different types of things. Like all the way down here, we're still going to need to use some cloth. Like I was surprised when we got to like level like 65 items, and I needed to use hemp and cloth for like the first time in a very long time. So we still need some of that, but not everything is made equal. You know, it's like it might actually be more useful to keep on the like second tiered crafting items. So having a ball of cotton, kind of useful because it means that we went out and grabbed it ourselves. Cotton yarn, well, we could just take the balls that we have in the remain and just make as many cotton yarns as possible, sell the remainder so we don't have extra slots sitting in there, because, you know, limited inventory. But we could also just make those in the cloth. Downside of that is if we need cotton balls for anything, we need to either go out and find that again, or you know, like grab one from the marketplace. So we either need to keep everything as cotton balls or everything in cotton cloth and just hope that we don't need just one left. But it's like, yeah, here's hard leather. This is like 1 stage removed. Cotton cloth is like 2 stage removed. Animal sinew we have to get from actually like killing something. Iron rivets is like 2 stages. I believe that this is like you take the ore, you make it into an ingot, you take the ingot, you make it into rivets. Like there is like at once at like some stage you're like, you have to be like, okay, so this is a lot of stuff that we need to hold on to. And yeah, a little bit. We need to make sure that we have everything in our power to like do all of our crafting stuff. Honestly, like it's really fun for me to do these crafting things. And honestly, like it's fine if I run out of room because I could just go grab things. Like right now, we're no longer sitting at like a 2-digit number worrying that if we could even get something that's like 100. Like we don't need to really worry about that anymore. And when we finally do dungeons, we don't even need to worry about it like being at 1,000. But yeah, now we're here at the Mining Guild. Mostly because I wanted to show this off too. While Mad Adventurer, you stand in the Miners Guild, the place where seekers of the realm's mineral wealth gather. With pickaxe and sledgehammer, we miners work rock and earth that they might yield us ores, fossils, precious stones, and more. If you have mind to join our ranks, you'll be pleased to know that we are currently recruiting. Great riches await those with strong backs and keen eyes. A decision you'll not regret. You have taken the first step forward to striking rich. To look at the lands around Old Dahl, one would be forgiven to thinking the region barren of opportunity, but beneath the surface the scene could not be more different. There lies veins of copper, silver, and gold beyond measure. For as long as he has dwelt in Thanalan, man has availed himself to these vast deposits, giving rise to a thriving mining trade which forms the foundation of our nation's prosperity. Of course, the mining trade as it is today owes much to an event that took place some century and a half ago, mainly the Mad Mithril Rush. Never before has the Sultanate seen such an influx of migrants. Endless throngs came from lands near and far, spurred on by the dream of discovering the mother lode. Alas, a harsh reality awaited them. You see, the vast majority of these poor souls were miners in name alone, and they possessed neither the proper equipment nor the training to realize their dreams. And to make matters worse, the mining concerns, who in those days held absolute power, did not scruple to exploit them. Presented with a glut of unskilled labor, they proceeded to fill every tunnel to bursting, and atrocious working conditions soon became the norm. Miners were paid a pittance for back-breaking labor and saw naught but the riches they saw naught of the riches they unearthed. Pushed to the breaking point, the workers banded together to form the Miners' Guild, with the aim of improving conditions while protecting the integrity of the trade. Since then, we have sought to educate folks in the correct mining practices, both to prevent accidents and to curb the impact that has our trade upon the environment. I trust you now have a better understanding of what we do. All that is left is to commit your name to our role. When you're ready to do so, pray seek with me again, and I shall guide you through the enrollment procedure. Music to my ears. Aye, the kind made when one's pickaxe strikes gold. You must introduce yourself to Guildmaster Adalberta. Adalberta, right away. Her approval is required if you are to be formally admitted to our ranks. In case you are unaware, Adalberta is perhaps the most accomplished of those miners who still swing a pickaxe. Her understanding of our trade is unsurpassed, and her flair for prospecting uncanny. Her brain, in short, is a veritable goldmine of knowledge, much of it concerning the mining of gold. Haha, jesting apart, you stand to learn a great deal from her. When you are ready, pray present yourself to Adalberta, and you will find her down the steps yonder, over by the bar. Yeah, okay. So two things. One, you could definitely tell that this used to be a tavern of some sort that they just basically retrofitted. Two, this guild is more like a trade union than an actual, well, to be honest, the crafting guilds are more like trade unions, more than most, practicing guilds. But, like, it's like, the mining guild is very much in line with how mining is in our own. Like, how things actually happen, where it's like, listen, if you want us to work, you need to actually give us, like, good benefits, like, make it be safe, and we literally have to sit here and not work unless you do something about it. Well met, adventurer. Adalberta is my name, and I'm the master of this guild. I take it you wish to become a miner. Well, our doors are open to all those who aren't afraid to work hard and get dirty. Thanks to recent advances in refining techniques, it's now possible to smelt even low purity ores. I mention this because it's allowed us to reopen a number of our mines which were long thought exhausted, prompting trade to flourish. Truth be told, with business as it is at the moment, we can't take on enough new miners, and new folk make better miners than adventurers, you being a hardy lot. What's more, wait, I need to actually go back and reread that. With business as it is at the moment, we can't take on enough new miners, and few folk make better miners than adventurers. Okay. I read that slightly off. What's more, you're well-traveled, which serves to expand the guild's sphere of activity. Oh, but I'm not suggesting you join solely for our benefit. For your part, you'll acquire skills that will prove to profit a mutual beneficial arrangement. I trust you'll agree. So what say you? Will you join us, yes? Get ready to work hard and get dirty? Then I bid you welcome to the Miners' Guild. May your toils never go unrewarded. Now then, here's a pickaxe to get you started. It's not the newest, but it should serve a novice well enough. Go on, take it up. See how it feels in your hands. Speak to me again when you're ready, and I'll assign you a little task to help you get into the swing of things. Yeah, there we go. Miner unlocked. Okay. Gathering log added. As I said, the gathering log is kind of like the crafting log. Once, you have like a little check mark right there. You get a little check mark right there when you actually like get it for the first time, you know? And, you've got 4 types of gathering. Well, technically 5. But the 5th one's not here because it's separated out into the fishing log and fishing guide. You have mining and logging, which you can do from the start when you start both of these gathering. And then you have quarrying and harvesting, which is used by the secondary arm of both of these gathering things. It's basically like there isn't too much of a difference. The only real difference between the two is about what type of surface that you're basically doing it on. Quarrying is mostly out of a wall. Mining is mostly out of a wall. Quarrying is usually like into the ground. Lodging is into a tree. Harvesting is usually into a bush. You know, it's that sort of thing. But yeah, so all we have to do is this. Recommended gear for that. Look at that. Snazzy. Miner. And there we go. Oh, wait. Okay. So as you can see from our hotbar, instead of it being arcs, we now have columns. We specifically have some space up here for some other stuff, and you'll see why, because these additional slots right here, these ones and these ones, are for gathering and fishing, because you can actually share several things. So we have things that make us get more items, things that get us additional items, things that are one-time use that will allow us to do more, and then things that trigger Gatherer's Boon, which basically gives us an additional item every single time that we grab it. And I honestly think that when we are, you know, like, gathering, honestly, like, the thing that is the most important is just making sure that we can get the item, which is why all the ones that are like that are over here onto the side. Because we don't really need to worry too much about making sure that we actually trigger Gatherer's Boon to get additional items, or increases the number that we get each time, if we can't even get the item in the first place. These ones right here are for some utility stuff, so we can actually find the mineral deposits better, and we got some additional stuff over here that we will get into when we get to it. Effectively stacked with 12's bounty. Huh. Interesting. Don't think I ever actually noticed that. I think about it, I should actually do it like that, actually. There we go. Yeah, 12's bounty is really interesting because it allows us to get more elemental shards, which, again, we need for crafting. Because right now we are that and that, which we mostly got just from completing the quests, which wasn't too much, but it was still something. Okay. Aldeberta wants to assign you to your first task. You look good with a pickaxe, Blue. And now you're suitably equipped, your training can commence. A miner learns her craft best in the wilderness with a pickaxe in hand. To begin, let's see how you fare with good old copper ore. Bring me, say, 10? There are deposits and stuff out in Thanalan. I doubt you'll have to go very far outside the city. Seek out some promising locations outside the Gate of Sultana and the Gate of Null and swing away. The motion may feel awkward at first, but in time it will become second nature. Yeah, so let's actually go out there and do that really quickly. Okay, so best way to find mineral deposits. We literally just turn this on. Prospect allows us to see the mineral locations. You cannot see it on this map. You have to look here, which is why you always have the minimap fully zoomed out. It is the most essential thing if you want to actually be gathering. There we go. It's down here. Okay, so the best way to explain this is this little symbol means we haven't gotten it yet. This percentage on top means the percentage that you will get the item. It's at 100% because, of course, it is. It's the first thing in the game. They want you to get it. And the number under it is the chance of it activating Gatherer's Boon. We do not have any way to really do that yet. To, like, increase really anything to, like, level 4, effectively. So let's just get one of each for now. As you can see, going... Okay, thanks. Oh, auto prospect. So basically, we don't even need to, like, click on this button anymore. It will just automatically turn on the second that we switch to the class. One of each shard. It will now show up in the logbook that we have gathered it from at least one of the locations on here. We can get it at, like, higher location areas, but what is the important part is that we get it at all. I was actually hoping that that was going to fail, just so I could show it off. Lay of the land. We now have the ability to see the nearest high level point that we can get with, like, the best items. It will be the closest one, and that this one is the... Oh wait, this is the one that is on par with us. This is the highest in the area. That's what the two... That's how the two differ. And then copper ore. Very simple. Right now, our bar can only do 4, but I forget what you have to do. You could also use a solid reason to gain 1 more integrity, which is oftentimes actually very useful. But we do need to get 10 of these copper ores. So we're currently at 5. We're now at level 4. Unsurprisingly, this is going very easy. It's actually really simple. Like, originally I thought that the gathering was going to be the more frustrating part, but it turns out the gathering is actually very passive. And as I can attest to, very relaxing when you don't really want to do anything that night, but you just want to just be in the game and do stuff. Like, I spent, like, I want to say around, like, 8 hours just farming ingredients in one area, just so I can have, like, a stack of, like, 500 of an item, so I could have it in my stuff. But this was also at the time in which, instead of triggering Gatherer's Boon, you would be increasing the likelihood for it to be high quality, because I needed all that high quality flax so I could turn it into so I could turn into cloth, so I could turn it into thread, so I could turn it into cloth, so I can have more of a chance to create it, the thing I wanted to get more often. So I was literally just going down the list so I can get as many high quality versions of that item as possible. And again, I think I ended up around, like, 500 of normal quality and like 100 even, because I'd stopped at like 100 of the high quality items. And I think even after, like, removing high quality items a year ago at this point, like, I still have a stack of that flax material, and it's really funny just looking at it every time. Okay. So, I'm gonna preemptively grab muddy water. It doesn't seem like much, but they are gonna have to ask me to do that later, and I would rather do it now than to run back out here, to be honest. So, we now have the ability to see the highest level in the area. For just mouse over it, it's a level 10 deposit. Very simple. We also have Sharp Vision 1 and 2. It increases the amount to gather by 5, basically nothing, and 15, more substantial. I only ever use 3, which increases it by 50. Because it may be a lot, that's 250 GP, but it is more important to hit that 100% so you don't even remotely have a chance of it failing, which is why this comes in handy. Every once in a while you'll run across something that's like 95 and you want to add that tiny little bit extra to it. I believe it's 10. I believe it's 10 muddy water that we need. So we should be able... Oh, there we go. What is that? Unable to give... What? Mine 20 times at a 1 to 10 mineral deposit in Thanalan. Oh, thanks! So if I remember correctly, I believe it's... Yeah, here it is. Miner. So, it's not just the fact that we need to mine levels 1 through 10. We have to mine levels 1 through 10 in every area. In every normal area. Once we have done all of these, we unlock a title for us to get, depending on which area we're in. It's pretty great. Bonus has the same thing. Pretty neat. The achievements are actually really neat because the achievement list is not as just gonna say right now, not as fundamentally interesting as as what you can get from from other games, but you could still go like, hey, I want to see everything that'll reward me with a title. And you could go like, okay, like scrolling down the list. Oh, I want to get that at some point. It was like, and then you could basically just right click it, add to your watch list. Go up here to your watch list and go, okay, I'm gonna work towards that. Click on it, you can see how far along you are in that. You know, it's relatively simple. I'm gonna add some stuff to the achievement list after I'm done with this recording session, but just so you know, like, my goal is not to setting out to 100% the achievement list, because that's a little bit that is a little bit deranged for my taste. If I had been playing this game and this was a character I've been playing since 2.0 first came out, I can't actually remember when the achievement list came out, to be honest. If I was in a situation where I had been playing this game since forever, I might actually have a full achievement list. And I might show that off, but I do not. And so I'm not even going to try. You may think that's a cop-out. I consider that to be actually like being a little bit level-headed and force myself not to be OCD and just getting everything. Because again, like, me just sitting here and looking at Achieve Weaver level 10 and going like, okay, what exactly other stuff can I do for Weaver? I don't want that. I actually want here. So all we would have to do is get to level 50, and then we can unlock this, effectively. Is it level 50? 1 second. Yeah. Of Golden Needle. Successfully synthesize 50 items that are level 1 through 10. And then we have to do 300 for that level, increasing amounts all the way up to here. Complete all of the first 5. We not only get a title, but we get this, a luminary item. And then I think we could do other things if we get all the luminary stuff. So, like, just going, like, add that to watch list. We're also going to want to add this to our watch list, craft and record 230 unique weaver recipes to get a ring that increases our crafting points specifically designed for each class. That's yeah, that's 400, and then that's for level 60, that's for level 70. You know, it's like it's a bunch of stuff. If I remember correctly, Luminary. There was also something for getting all of the Luminary items, Resplendent tools, whatever. Um, is there one for Luminary? I thought there was. Oh well. But yeah, it's like I'm gonna want to do that for every class, but I'm just doing it on Weaver right now just to show. Like, my goal is to effectively, on every class, get this Luminary item, get this Master Ring, and then basically do as much as I can that isn't going completely insane and overboard. And I already know several people that when I said the way that I level up my crafter is just by going down the checklist and getting everything, they're like, wow, that's really slow. And I'm like, yes. But that is how I play the game, and that is how I like it. Okay, I made it back. Let's talk to Aldeberta. Is 10 chunks a couple, or I want... There you go. Let's see here. 10 chunks just as ordered. Well done, Blue. Tell me, is being a miner like you imagined? Harder than expected, is it? All new recruits say as much. It's a combination of knowledge, experience, and the instinct to know where to dig. Yet it's ultimately back-breaking labor that yields you your prize. Make no mistake, Blue, mining is grueling work, and you'll be dog-tired most of your waking hours. But tell me, did you not feel invigorated each time your pickaxe struck home? Did you not experience a thrill of triumph when the earth finally yielded up your prize? That is what we miners live for. You may be ripe to collapse, your face caked with weak old dirt, but the promise of discovery drives you on, and the instant you find which you have long sought in the sparkling instant, feel like a god among men. You made a fine start, and I would see you maintain your efforts. Practice swinging your pickaxe till your arms have learned the motion. Then return here, and I'll have another little task for you. Okay, thank you. I'm waiting. There we go. Oh, that's for level 6? Right, only level 1. In comparison. I'm gonna want to get the 1 to 6, because either way I'm gonna make these eventually, because these are now in my crafting pool. I could also get the tin piece as well. Sells are 25 gil. Nah. I think I'm gonna get the, whichever one gives me the biggest benefit. Additional pickaxe. Cool. Aldeberta wants to teach you the importance of knowing the land. Hello there, Blue. 'Tis good to see you again. Judging by the blisters on your hands, it's plain that you are hard at work with your pickaxe. Good, you're ready for the next stage of your training. Yours is a vast realm with diverse environments, and her mineral wealth varies from region to region. Even within Thanalan, there are a marked difference between east and west. If you want to be a successful miner, it's essential that you know where and what to look for. And for that, you have become intimate with Eorzea. How else can you expect her to reveal her innermost secrets to you? Getting to know her every square mile is no small undertaking, of course, but the yalms soon add up, and I'm sure you'll find with my next task, I'd like you to seek out 10 bone chips for me. Just don't go about it completely blind. Here's a tip. You'll find these just beyond the gate of Nald. Now off you go. Happy digging. Oh, I thought it was gonna be the 10 muddy water. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Either way, let's do that really quickly. Yeah, so as I said, um, you have right here a list of items for you to grab. Um, as you can see, some of these items you can't actually get yet. Um, Lenosia, which is where Limsa Lamensa is, Black Shroud, which is where Gridania is. We need to actually go to those places so we can get them. Um, this one's in Corthus. Could also get in a few other places. But, like, we go like, oh, I can get this here. And you open the map and go, okay, it's right there. So there are going to be some places I just can't... There are going to be some things I just can't get right now. I think the two main things right here I can't get right now are Earth and Ice. Which, to be completely honest, makes a little bit of sense that you're not going to be able to find everything in every place. But it does make it a little bit more difficult when you basically remember, oh yeah, I need to actually make sure that I fill out this whole list as well. Oh, someone wants me to join a free company. Nah, I'm good. Okay, so let's do... I'm gonna just decline that so it's off my screen. Yeah, so bone chips. It's gonna be right over there. This is honestly like the most important part about the gathering log is that you could actually see where it is. And you get a special little thing of like, this is what you're searching for up here. But yeah, to be completely honest, like I said, gathering is very passive, and oftentimes it's a lot more relaxing than one would expect. Crafting sometimes gets a little bit hectic where you're like, uh-oh, I don't think I did this right. I was supposed to stock up on I was supposed to do a little bit more gathering beforehand. Sorry, a little bit more progress beforehand, but I didn't do that properly. So I might actually just lose this if I don't use the the Hail Mary move to try to get like that 250. Yeah, to get that 250 off of a out of a coin flip. So it's like sometimes it gets a little bit like that. Rarely have I ever been gathering and felt like I needed to be like that amount of like worried about things. Because there have been times in which I walked up to a mineral deposit, see that the chance to actually get an item is like 45%, and I just keep clicking on it, and out of the 4 times I go through it, and then I click like solid reasoning to add one more integrity, and then I go through all 5 of them, and I only get 1 item from that, and I just go, oh well, and then I just walk off. You know, it's like, it's not actually too important in the long run, effectively, to be too worried about gathering. It's only really important if you really want certain things to spawn at a high rate, or it's such a low probability that you have to use Sharp Vision 3 to get that 50%. So now your chance of getting it goes from 10% to 60%, and you're still getting it like every other time. Or you're using Mountaineer's Gift to get higher Gatherer's Boon, so hopefully you're getting like 2, maybe even 3 sometimes out of the item, because you need to get like 250 of an item, but you know, you're gonna be there a while. But in the end, it doesn't matter, because eventually you get there. it's not even really about it's at that point how fast you get it, not whether or not you'll get it. And honestly, it's why I think I have so much fun with gathering in this game, more than other games that I've played with a gathering system as well. Like, does it suck that I don't have like beast skinning from WoW, or I get the instant gathering from like Guild Wars 2? Yeah. It's like I can't go into a boss fight and get like cool additional things that I could rip off of a boss, so I could then use it to make armor out of that is based on them. I can't do that from WoW, and I can't. But I also don't have to deal with WoW. Meanwhile, in Guild Wars 2, all of your crafting stuff eventually runs out. So unless you want to pay the additional money from the online store to actually get infinite one of those, you have to keep contending with stocking up on those gathering items. All things considered, having to put a little bit more conditioning into this primary tool and upgrade it every 7 levels, not too bad. Not too bad. Precisely 10 bone chips. You've done well, Blue. No doubt you had trouble tracking these down at first, but each chip you found added to your understanding. For your efforts, you have come to know where to best search for bone chips, and so it goes for everything else we mine. Now, in addition to learning where to find materials, you should also make a point of knowing who needs them. For instance, armorers and blacksmiths are our best companies when it comes to ores, while goldsmiths would struggle to ply their trade if we didn't supply them with gold and gemstones. Oh, and I'm also going to forget about the alchemists. Those fellows can never have too much rock salt and cinnabar. We often rub shoulders with them. In short, I know whence it comes, and whither it goes, to be sure. You still have much more to learn, and there is no substitute for hard work. Oh, don't look so glum. Just be thankful that you don't have to bleeding memorize all that information. You have the gathering log for such stuff. So make good use of it, and you can't go wrong. That's all for now. Keep up the efforts and visit me again when you've spent more time in the wilds with pickaxe in hand. I'll have another task for you when you've perfected your swing. Cool. Let's get this. Sneak. Sneak allows you to conceal yourself from enemies so that you may log, mine, and fish without fear of being attacked. Very useful. It was like sneak, level 8. That's cool. Auto sneak, level 27. Not as cool. You know, it's like, we'll get there eventually. Let's see though. Oh, let me first repair all this stuff. Okay. Gathering log, level this. Central Thanalan, Lower Lanasia, South Shroud, Central Thanalan, Central Western, North Shroud. Okay, so we could do those, but I actually wanted to show something really cool. Now that we have both of these type of things, we basically have one combat, one crafting, one gathering. We can now show these off in detail. We're heading back to the Adventurers Guild so I can talk to the guild leaf person that is over there, because I'm not sure if this is as accurate, because I've only started to notice that it's like this now, but... Hello, birds. we could talk to him, and we basically look at all the guild leaves that are in this general area. So, like, we could go to the person that's giving out the level 1 Battlecraft leaves, or we could just talk to him and just see all of them here. So we have Fieldcraft and Tradecraft. Let's go over to Weaver. Okay, so let's just say that we want to do some stuff, and we're like, hey, this looks kind of cool. Let's get these. Let's get these. Let's go to Tradecraft. Let's let it go to level 1, so it's not as invasive. Okay, there we go. I wanted to show off how the leaves work because I actually kind of wanted to do this. So, first things first. We need to... Huh? Hempen shot. Oh. They want us to give the one that we have. Like the one that we have on us. Yeah, I don't think that that's going to happen. But we will look into it. Okay. So let's do that for now. Let's mark those as do not show, so we just have the gathering ones up right now. So, like I said, western. Okay. Let's go there. So each one of these is going to be really interesting, because I'm not sure if any of these are going to have overlap, but I believe that they don't. From the last time trying this out. But basically, it works the same way as the battle leaves. We have these spheres, circles, that we can go into. Once we go into the general area that they are over, so this one is paperwork, click on that. Initiate, bring it up all the way. Okay. Our goal right now is to do this in the fastest amount of time possible while also doing what we needed. So this one is just gather up all the items that's here. So let's just pick the one that is the highest level. There we go. And as you can see, there's no way for us to trigger Gatherer's Boon from this. But that's okay, because I think that mostly just comes from the game not wanting us to get high quality ones of these. But as you can kind of see, this percentage is going up. We're going to get an extra bonus if it actually lands within the amounted slot. If I remember correctly, we get more points if we get the higher level things. And every single time we mine one of these, we're also getting extra experience. So not only are we getting the extra completion bonus for doing this the first time, we're going to get our time bonus for doing this quickly. We're also going to be getting a bonus for having a high evaluation at the end. There we go. Just learned how to do quarrying. None of them are really, like, in the danger zone of breaking right now. I think we could do all of these before we can, before we are forced to actually, heal up our stuff. Yeah, if you look over there... Are we gonna get it? Barely not. I cannot actually remember how you get a higher evaluation. I think you might actually need to alternate between them, but I'm not entirely sure. I've never actually known a good way to do evaluation. And if you're really high level, like let's just say that you're doing this at like level like 50, and you're doing the level 1 ones. When you hit that like high, you're the high level ones, you're only going to be getting like one evaluation. So it might actually just be based on your level. You know, kind of like what was a good way to phrase it? It is I don't want to say penalize, but it's basically going like, hey, why are you even doing this? And then like point to it goes, it doesn't have a check mark on it, so I'm trying to fix it. So this one is Primrose Path. Okay. Farm rich yellow copper ore until you reach 35. In this one, you can trigger Gatherer's Boon, but we don't actually have that unlocked yet until level 15. We still have that 1% chance that it could happen, so who knows. There we go, we got 6 out of 1 spot. The second spot will now appear. We then have to go find that new spot. There we go. And just keep doing this. This one is a lot more simple than the other ones, which we have to find the spot, but it's also more about getting the necessary amount. Yeah, so 6 each time, not too bad. We could be getting more if I was a little bit higher level, but at that point, do you even really need to be doing these? Like, we got a fair amount of experience from doing these so far, and we still have like 2 more to go after this. Like, it is actually insane how much XP you get from these at lower levels. Like, when you were on par with them, they are really good to you. When you are not on par with them, they basically just become a nuisance to do. What is this? Allows you to better identify the characteristics of a mineral deposit or rocky outcrop, improving gathering rate when conditions are met. I can't remember what that one does. I think that basically means, sometimes you'll just walk across one and then you'll just get a better rate for gathering on it. There we go. Usually it will be the same 4 spots in a preset pattern, so we don't need to worry too much about... Yeah, we don't need to worry too much about it. The second we get to 35, it's over. There we go. Do they or don't they? You know, it's like, I think I may have mentioned it, but their reliance on puns is everlasting and ceaseless. So we're actually going to get some, like, pretty good amount of shards from all of this. Of course, they're the ones that we already have a lot of, but, you know, that doesn't really matter. Okay. So this is just like the first one, but instead of the weird up-the-wall pattern, all we have to do is basically just this. I just noticed that my food buff went away. Well, I'm actually getting a lot because there's a chance I might fail this then. Interesting. So if there is a chance for failure, I actually get a lot more evaluation from that. Actually, that does tie in with what I said earlier, where it's like... Dang it. Where it said, like, the higher your level, the the lower the evaluation you're doing overall. So is it important to get stuff? Yes. Is it more important that you get a higher valuation? Absolutely not, because the amount of XP you're getting is basically middling. And this is not the way you should ever be leveling anything up. But, you know, on the bright side, you are getting a slight amount of compensation for all of this. Also only messed that up, like, once out of, like, this whole thing, so maybe these are actually falsified percentages and not, like, real percentage? Where it's like every, out of every 5, one of them is failing. You know, maybe it's more like, 186 out of 250, 255, you know? And it's not until, like, you're down to, like, the 30s that it actually feels like actual, like, 30%. Okay, those were all the misses. That's where all the misses went. There we go. We got our valuation bonus up to 33%. To 33. That's kind of neat. And now that we actually know that we should live dangerously, instead of living normally, apparently. Oh, we don't even get to keep the, stuff for it. The ship comes in. Initiate. Okay. This is just like the second one, which now all we need to really worry about is getting 35 as a total. Again, this would be a lot more simple if we had the gifting abilities, so we can activate Gatherer's Boon a little bit more often. But the only thing that's really stopping us is time limit. It's not even really like... Yeah, it's not even like a hard concrete time limit either. It's just like, hey, do this within like 20 minutes. And I'm like, sure. I'll get it done in 2. Like, it's... Like, once again, it's more relaxing than crafting. But you have to do a lot more to level these up. Which is why my gatherers are up near, like, 68. But my crafters... but my crafters only just recently got the 60. Like, I had to do a lot more gathering to make sure I had everything. Gathering point characteristics. Sometimes you'll encounter one that has an extra bonus. I guess they were trying to say that, like, this one had a higher percentage to succeed on this one. Yeah, it had a higher percentage to succeed. So it's telling me, hey, that 85% can now become a 100 if you play your cards right. Well, there we go. See? That's Gatherer's Boon activating. I actually got 2 clods instead of 1. Completed that sooner. Now that I have all 4 of them done, yes. Life reward. Difficulty, speed of completion. Second one we did. Difficulty, speed of completion. Yeah, I don't think we actually got anything extra. I think all that we got was an XP bonus from that one. And there we go. All of that got us to level 17 from 10. Like, early game leaves are astoundingly good for your level. Like, I've always had, like, a really, like... I've had a dissenting opinion on leaves ever since I found out about them. I've always thought they were kind of neat, but then I, like, hear from people that have been playing since 1.0, and they're like, no, leaves were your only way of getting experience. And I go, oh, yeah, that could have been annoying then. Because, just to remind you, I have a leave allowance. I could only hold 16 at a time. So, and then it's like, it's not just like 5 levels between story beats for your class, it's 15. And so it's like, yeah, I can see how that could be a problem. Okay, I'm back with enough XP to do this next one. Wait, did I even do... How far did I get with this? Only level... to that level? I get a sledgehammer from this. Yeah, I should do this, because... better shoes, definitely. Yeah. There she is, the rising star of the Miners Guild. Don't be like that, I'm only teasing. Which is not to say it isn't true. Fact is, you've been working tirelessly, and you've improved more quickly than I could have ever hoped. Indeed, I think you're ready to handle a task in the name of the guild. As you probably know, we receive orders from several parties, but most come from the Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern. The concern actually owns this hall, but they've kindly given us the loan of it. In return, they get the first pick of guild talent to work their mines. On occasion, they send requests for us to procure less widely used minerals and commodities required in quantities too small to warrant anything beyond an ad hoc arrangement. One such request happens to arrive just now, and I want you to take care of it, Blue. This time the concern needs 10 pieces of obsidian, and I would like you to procure them. You have the best luck searching around in the around the hammers in Western Thanalan. Okay, cool. Gathering log, obsidian, hammerly. There we go. There we go. Yeah, it's... To be honest, like, that is honestly the best part about crafting and gathering. They level up so fast, you sometimes forget how slow it is sometimes. When you... like, how fast you level up early game. When you get to later, you need to use this timers page to even remotely stay on par with it. Because you're doing like, okay, go to timers, go to this, I need to craft this thing that requires like 7 things to craft from other crafting, and then I need to make the base components that are like rare ingredients on top of everything else. You know, it's like, it is actually rather interesting. So what can I actually get here? 1 second. 10... a soiled femur, zinc, and obsidian. Okay, so I guess that those are going to be the 4 items I'm going to find here. But sneak. I actually forgot to turn that on. I'm so used to it just being auto that I forget I need to actually activate it. Because again, these things will attack us, and all we've got is basically our basic, like, auto-hitting attack. It is not really that good for defending ourselves. Oh, that's for turning in the Levequest for crafting. We're gonna get back to that in a second. one of each of these so we can add it to the list. There we go. Very simple. We also can make use of the auto gathering, which is hit or miss. Enable quick gathering, obsidian. So basically, it's gonna run through the rest of our allotted gathering attempts to get that one item. If I think the only times that it stops is if the item itself is removed from the list. Like, let's just say that there's like a secret item that's right here, and you could only get one of them in each like gathering attempt. If we were to still have quick gathering on, it would grab that singular one of it, and then boot us back to this screen. Yeah. A little bit more simple, so you don't have to click as much. But, you know, sometimes you actually don't want to do that. Like, for right now, when I don't actually want extra obsidian, I just want to grab the one more. There we go. And then I can devote the rest of my time to getting shards, so I can stock up on these when I need them. Because, spoilers, we're going to be running out of shards a lot. Like, I'm going to need to carry around like 500 of these shards, like 150 of these crystals, and we're going to need to have about like 25 of these clusters, because for context, these are only mineable in certain areas, at certain times of the day, in certain spots in the world, and some of the high-end stuff requires 10 of these. So, yeah, we're gonna be abusing the heck out of these two when we get it, just so we can get more clusters. Wait, does, Troll's Bounty only work for shards? 1 second. I don't think that's the case. Base yield by 1. Now extends the clusters. There we go. At level 50, it extends the clusters. That makes sense. We're going to be back. We're going to give you your stuff in a bit. I just wanted to finish this. Mostly because I wanted to get the secondary item for both of these classes. Again, I'm going to keep calling it class, because calling it a job is awkward. And for most RPGs, it makes more sense just to simplify it down to say your class. Your class of adventurer. It's a lot more simple like that, and everyone knows what you're talking about. Oh, I think I forgot to mention, when I was talking about our basic attack, I mean it. Like, if you actually look really closely, like, watch. Like, watch the way the character puts the item. But yeah, it's like, when you look at the way the character is standing, and they pull up in Gladiator, it's the same pose. As you could probably tell, Gladiator is the base pose for every class that doesn't have a strict weapon. It's one of the funnier things about Gladiator as a whole, because it basically means that Gladiator is the default pose for every class. Which I kind of find is funny. And yes, in case you're wondering, Weaver does the same thing. Like, it is actually hilarious. So if we were to hit something, we would be doing base Gladiator combos, and it's funny. It's really funny. Here's the 10 pieces of obsidian you needed. Ooh, this is some fine obsidian. The concern will be well pleased. In case you're wondering, these spoils of your labor are bound for the Colosseum. I'm told that there's to be an exhibition featuring ancient arms. One of these is the Makaludi, a wooden sword with shards of obsidian embedded in the edge. Before man learned to work metal, he used various kinds of stone to craft blades for his weapon. Obsidian was among the most coveted, thanks to the razor-sharp edge it could achieve. These days, of course, blades are commonly forged of steel, and obsidian has fallen out of favor. But there's still folk who are willing to pay good coin for it nevertheless. An ambitious young miner, you do well to pay attention to such customers. Make the effort to stay abreast of their demand, and their efforts will be more richly rewarded. If you continue to impress with your progress, Blue, it's past time you learned how to use a sledgehammer. It's a secondary tool we use in conjunction. That we use in conjunction with the pickaxe. Thus equipped, you'll be able to break outcrops of bedrock to get to precious minerals within. What are you waiting for? Go find a rocky outcrop and get that sledgehammer yours a swing. Select the shoes. And there we go. We could do the next level right now, but we don't really need it. Like, not really. Get, like, a better sledgehammer. Like, that's it. There we go. And as of right now, all of our, Mikote items are, unequipped again. Hempen tights. Yeah, though. Yeah, let's get those out of there. Get that out of there. You know, to be honest, I don't even know why I held onto that again. I think I said that I was using it for something. Oh, I guess the perception is a little bit higher on that one. By the way, the item that she was talking about, the item with obsidian in it, yeah, that's the weapon that we have on our gladiator right now. It's actually, to be honest, it's a really cool looking weapon. The obsidian blade and stuff. Wait, is this the, yep, there it is. You know, it's kind of neat. It is one of those very cool ancient weapons that you'll sometimes see in fiction, but it rarely actually shows up when you really put your mind to it, because you'll oftentimes see people that are like, no, people know what a sword is. It's like, we'll just do sword. Okay, so now that we've done all of that, we're gonna actually go back to the Weaver's Guild so we actually can complete the rest of these. Hempen Chauces. I think... Did we actually move it over here? No, we did not. I'm gonna be selling all this stuff, don't worry. Yeah, we're gonna be going back over to the Weaver's Guild. I'm gonna be finishing up those guilds, those guild leaves in a second. Oh, the, apparently, unlike a few of the other, some leaves, I believe the combat ones, you can do this on. It doesn't matter which ones you go to, as long as you turn it into one of these places. I believe with crafting, you have to deliver it to the person that it's intended for. So here is the hempen undershirt you needed. Trade the high quality one. For tradecraft leaves, submitting high quality items will earn you a greater reward. That is adequate. There we go, completion bonus. You know, there was actually something to be said about several people that I've watched play through this game for the first time, and very infrequently do they ever test out the crafting and gathering stuff while they're going through the game, because I feel like it's actually kind of important, since you lose a lot of useful stuff when you just skip over it, which then makes it harder to actually go back and do all this stuff later. So here, take all this stuff. There you go. On the payroll, earn a cumulative total of 1,000 gil from Levequests. Craft 100 high-quality items as a weaver. Gonna need to do that as everyone. Successfully synthesize 50 times. There we go. We've actually done a few of those. Here, just like... There we go. We didn't need a lot of this stuff anyway. It's gonna take up inventory space. This guy is actually kind of neat. He sells, glamour prisms, but not the one we actually need. He sells a dispeller and a clear one. We're gonna talk about, like, why that's important. He also sells, Gissel greens, which is gonna be really useful for when we actually get a companion. He also sells little minions. They're very cute. I like them. And, music from the beginning parts of the game. Important guide to go to. The importer of each major city has stuff like that that you can find. It's, rather important. What exactly was I doing again? Oh, right. So I've actually decided. I could start with the main story right now. Because, again, Gladiator is level 15. It's actually starting to be lagged a little bit by our other two classes we have, just because we've been doing so much with it. And we're not going to stop. To be completely honest, I actually feel the need to do both Alchemist and Goldsmith right now. I mean, not right now, since I'm actually gonna need to stop and do something else in a bit. But you understand what I mean when I say I have an instant need to actually do the rest of the crafting stuff and the rest of the gathering stuff. Like, I'm not one for, like, completely stopping because the story stuff is rather important. But I also understand that not many people are going to show this aspect, especially the early game stuff for it, you know? So I thought I might as well. So let's actually go over to the Goldsmith and do that really quickly.